welcome back. In this video we're going to be doing tour on Odoo so that we can know exactly how to interact with all the different stuff in Odoo. So first thing first, we connect to the server of Odoo. In my case, I'm gonna be using WSL with Ubuntu as its distribution. So I'm gonna go to my projects, Odoo, and then let's type Python 3 Odoo -bin -c and then your configuration file if you use configuration file, otherwise just leave it. Okay, now it's up and running, so let's go to the local host. Okay, here you can see we are in the login page. You can select the database if you want just by going to this page and then selecting the database that you want to use. In my case, I'm going to be using this particular database, and then I'm just click login. Don't forget to mention your email and your password on those two fields. Okay, after that just click login. Okay, so the very first page that you would be redirected into is the Discuss page. So this page is used for communicating between users in Odoo. So on the left side, as you can see, there is channels section. This is to view channels that you have, and also you can create a new channel by clicking this particular button. So for example, by default we have general channel, and also we can create a new channel. For example, I'll be creating test, create test, and as you can see the channel is created, and you can invite some people to join you to your channel like that. And also you can configure your channel by clicking this gear icon. For example, you can select which user can follow your group's activities. For example, in here by default it is selected group of users, but we can set it for example everyone, so that everyone can follow the group's activities. And then you can also edit the members that you have in this channel, and then after that just click save. Okay, so that's the basic idea of Discuss feature, and I'm not going to be elaborating this more because it's not relevant to the development. If you want to learn more about Odoo Discuss, you can go to this video. So Odoo has created a video on showing how to use Odoo Discuss. And then the other feature that is really important that I want to show you is the apps menu. So if you go to the apps, here you can see there are lots of apps that you can install to your Odoo application. So what is an app, or an add-on sometimes it is called? So an app or an add-on is basically a sub application that you can install in order to gain some new features to your Odoo application. For example, this particular file, which is sales, if you install it, you will be getting sales menu so that you can store the sales of your business to the menu. And also there is invoicing. This is of course related to the invoicing of your business. And also there is CRM, which is customer relationship management. This is for managing the relationship between your customers and your business. And also there is website, for example. So yeah, you can also build a website on your Odoo application and actually display it to your client or your customer. And also there's inventory. This is related to the inventory of your business. So if you want to move, for example, from some inventory to another inventory, or from some warehouse to another warehouse, and you want to store the event that when you move from certain place to certain place, you are going to be using this particular add-on. And also there's accounting, for example, there's taxes, and also there will be journal entries. So this is related to accounting stuff, and it is by default installed. As you can see, if you found this particular button, upgrade, that means it is installed already on your application. And if you want to upgrade it, just click to upgrade. And also there's purchase. Of course, this is related to the purchase of your business if you want to store the data in it. And also there's point of sale. This is usually for cashier and to take a note what customer buys. And you can also print receipt to your customer. So it is something like this, you can pick some products and pick the quantity for each product, and then calculate the total price, and then choose your customer who's buying your product, and then you can also print a receipt so that you can give it to the customer. And there are so many more add-ons that are built in Odoo. So there's e-commerce, manufacturing, email marketing, events, e-learning, contacts, and so on and so forth. Okay, for testing purpose, let's say we want to install this particular add-on, the sales. So just click install and just wait for the process to finish. Okay, now the installation is finished. It is usually indicated that you redirected back to the Discuss page. So let's click this icon and then go to apps. Here you can see sales is installed, and if you click this menu, and here you can see the sales is installed. And not only that, the invoicing is also installed. So sometimes some module or some add-on depends on other add-on. So for example, in this particular case, the sales depends on invoicing. So when you install sales, it will also automatically install invoicing, because there are some data that the sales need to have in invoicing. Okay, so let's go to the sales, and here you can see we are brought to the quotations page. And to be honest guys, I'm not an ERP expert, so I don't really know how to make quotations and stuff, because this playlist is intended for the development process of Odoo, not how to use Odoo in general. But let's just see how you can create a record in a particular menu. So to create a record, so just click this create button, and for example, a quotation record needs to have a customer. So just pick a customer, because in the previous installation I have selected so that Odoo generated some fake data. So here you can see there are several fake customers. So let's just choose the first one and then choose the product. So there are also fake products that are being generated. Okay, for the quantity you can change it if you want. Okay, now let's just click confirm. Okay, create invoice and the down payment, I don't really know what it is, so let's just set a random number and then click create and view invoice. So here you can see this is the record that is created, and the status is draft. So the state, as you can see, is draft, and we can make it posted or paid or something else by clicking a certain button. So for example, let's click this confirm button and let's see what it changed the state to. So if you click the confirm, it will change the state to posted. And then let's click register payment. So recipient bank, and so let's just leave as it is, and then click create payment. And now it is said that this invoice has been paid. So there are many buttons that you can click, and then for example there's also button send and print. So if you want to know, just click it and let's see what is going to happen. Okay, from the previous installation there was a library that was missing, and that is wk-html to pdf. So this particular library is used so that you can convert HTML to PDF. This is necessary so that you can print stuff on Odoo. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna create a separate video to cover on how to install wk-html to PDF on Odoo, because the installation is a bit different. Okay, so for now, just click OK. Okay, so that's it on how you can create a record, and if you want to view the record that you are create, you can just navigate to this link, and here you can see these are the records that you have created. So for a view that displays table, it is called a tree view. In Odoo, there are several views, not only tree view, but there is also, for example, a Kanban view. What it looks like, if you want to know that, just click this particular icon, and this is the view of Kanban. So it is similar to grid view, where there are several containers, and a container will contain a particular record. You can also click it, and if you found this particular form, so there's a form and there are some fields that you can edit. This is called form view. So there are several views in Odoo. There is form, there is tree view, and also Kanban, and there are several more that I'll be covering in separate video. And actually, you're not only able to install built-in add-ons, but you can also install add-on from other resources or third party. The main resource to download Odoo applications is the official Odoo App Store. In here you can view all the different applications. Keep in mind though that some of them are paid, so it's not free, but there are several free applications that you can download. And if you want to install it on your Odoo application, you just need to put it in the add-ons folder that we've covered in the previous video. And regarding this, for more detail, I'm also going to be creating a separate video to cover that. For now, let's get back to our Odoo application. And if you click this icon and go to the settings, this is the page to configure your Odoo application. And so there is general settings. This is related to your Odoo application in general. So for example, you can configure users, you can invite new users, companies, and you can also add new language, and so on and so forth. Really, you have to read the Odoo documentation on how to use the settings and how to configure it properly. So aside from general settings, there is also application specific settings. For example, sales. In sales, you can configure some settings. For example, in product catalog, you can sell and purchase products in different unit of measure. If you want to enable that, just tick it. And also the pricing, for example, discounts, will you enable it on sell order lines? And margins, do you want to show it? And so on and so forth. Really, you have to look up at the official documentation on how to configure it properly. So to view the documentation for your specific version, you just need to go to this and click the documentation. It will bring you to the official documentation of your Odoo version. And there's also preferences. So let's go here. In here you can do some stuff. For example, you can set your email. So what email to use, you can set the time zone, language, and you can also email signature. So you can also edit the email signature. So when you send email, what is the content of the email signature? So you can put it here. And also there's account security. You can change password and also enable to factor authentication if you want one, but this requires additional configuration, and I'm not going to be delved into that right now. And there's also developer API keys and so on and so forth. If you want to learn more about this, you just need to view the documentation because Odoo has already provided that for you. Okay. And the other thing that I want to talk about is regarding the debugging mode. So currently we are in the normal mode. So there are some differences between debugging mode and normal mode. So the debugging mode will enable you to see some stuff that only relevant to developers. So to go to the debugging mode, you will need to add the question mark next to web word, and then type debug equals to 1. And here you can see there are several menus that are now visible because we enter the debugging mode. There is technical. This is related to modules, views, and so on and so forth that you can configure within the Odoo application. I'm going to be talking about later because this is something that is too long to talk about right now. And also there's translations. So actually, if you want to make your Odoo application multi-language, it is possible because Odoo already gave you the flexibility to import translation and also export translation. We're going to be covering this in more in-depth later. And then users and companies, so you can manipulate the users, groups, companies on your Odoo application. So for example, we can create a new user that will be using this Odoo application. We just need to click this create button and then just fill out the form and just save it. Okay. And also there is groups. This is for grouping users on your Odoo application. So for example, there's technical, sales, and so on and so forth. If you have generated fake data before, you will get these groups already being generated for you. So we can create a new group, for example, and we can add users to our group. For example, and also we can set the access rights. So for every user that is belong to this group, what access rights that the user will have. You can add a new right and then name it for example, access right test. So in which module the access right will apply. So for example, yes, that's for contact. So let's rename it to access right for contact. For example, you can see that for every user in this group, they can read, they can write, they can create, they can delete. And let's just save it. Okay, you also need to specify the group name. Okay, I don't know, maybe administrator test. Okay, and also there is companies. So if you want to list companies, or you can create new company and so on and so forth, you can edit it and configure it in this particular module. Okay, I think that's it, the basic idea of what Odoo is and how you can interact with Odoo. Other than that, it is up to you now to read the official documentation or other resources so that you can know how to use a particular app, for example, or how to configure a particular setting. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode.